Hi everyone, welcome back to Maximum Attack Rallying. It's Thursday, so it's video day. There's a few things to talk about, including an exciting announcement. We'll get to that. Just a couple of things I wanted to touch on before we talk about that, however. The first of those is thanks to everyone that's watched the video about the 208 Rally 6. I had a few comments about that saying, Rally 6 doesn't exist, what are you talking about, what is this car? The short answer is I don't know. So I've contacted Peugeot, asked them for more information, but they're staying quite tight-lipped at the moment. They've said that until they make an official announcement, we will have to wait for more details. So we don't know too much about that car. It's just an ongoing development project. So we're just going to have to be patient, I'm afraid. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm still quite excited about it, however, but haven't managed to find out anything extra. As soon as I do, I will let you know. Also contacted the FIA asking if Rally 6 is actually a thing, and still haven't managed to find anything out about that either. So we'll just have to wait. The other thing worth mentioning is that in Chile, I didn't mention this previously, Janne Firm, Esa-Pekka Lappi's co-driver, he announced his retirement from WRC competition. It looks like it was their last outing this season for Hyundai, and he took the opportunity to say that this would be his last WRC season. Not the end of their partnership. They did say that they might do some rallies together just for fun, so that's good to see. I think it's interesting, isn't it, because while he has announced his retirement, it might be Lappi's retirement by default, perhaps. So as we understand it, he doesn't have a contract in place for next season, and we just don't know what's going to happen, do we? Hyundai have talked about changing things, maybe just having one driver in the third car next year. Obviously, there's talk about Adrian Fourmeau departing M Sport and maybe going to Hyundai. So, we don't even know if we're going to see Lappi next year, do we? So it might not just be Janne Firm's retirement from WRC. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I don't know when we're going to find out what Hyundai are planning for next year. Adrian Fourmeau has said that he has made a decision, but that decision, as I record this, is yet to be announced. So patience, I'm afraid. However, let's talk about something more exciting than people retiring, and that is an exciting announcement. You will see that I am wearing a t-shirt with the Maximum Attack Rallying logo. I do not know why I'm drawing circles around my man boobs with my hands. This is not a sexy video. Wearing a t-shirt, branded t-shirt, and you know what that means? That means that you can now buy a branded Maximum Attack t-shirt along with many other branded Maximum Attack things if you just go to the link in the description down below. You will find an exciting website full of Maximum Attack merchandise. So we have merchandise for men, for women, for kids. There are Maximum Attack branded items, t-shirts, baseball caps, hoodies, all that kind of thing. And in addition to that, I've also tried to create just some fun little items that you can have a look at. So we've got other hoodies and t-shirts. We've got some with funny dictionary definitions of drivers, just poking a little bit of gentle fun at people, and a couple of other amusing, or hopefully amusing things. So do take a look at that, all done courtesy of Spreadshirt. Make sure you check it out. Please have a look. If there's anything you like, order it. That will help me to make better content for you, so I would be very, very grateful for your support there. Obviously, this is very new, so if you have any issues, just drop me a message or put something in the comments. You can get me over on socials. But I would be very, very grateful if you would have a look at that and see if there is anything there that takes your fancy. It is very much an experiment so far. As I said, if you have any issues with ordering, with products, just let me know in the comments or shoot me a message on socials. And if you have any ideas, something you'd love to see, let me know. Maybe I can put it together. This is just the first part of it, the first wave, if you will. I've got some more ideas in the pipeline, so maybe I'll add to that in the future. Anyway, one thing I want to talk about in this video. Do you think the WRC is intentionally making things complicated? I sometimes think that. Obviously, we've had the points debacle in 2024, a massively overcomplicated point system at the top level of the WRC that's annoyed lots and lots of people and is probably going to be changed for next season, although we don't know into what. Also, though, isn't WRC2 a bit weird sometimes? I love WRC2. I love Rally 2. I think Rally 2 cars are amazing. I think they should be the top formula. But I do think that the support category sometimes is just a bit too complicated. So in the past, we've obviously had weird things. We had WRC2 Pro at one point to try and attract manufacturers' teams, didn't we? So you had cars running in the same kind of cars running in separate classes, and that all got a bit messy. I've got a bit of a gripe about this year as well, to be honest. So I just find the point system a little bit weird. So as it stands right now, in 2024, the drivers have to nominate which rallies are going to be their point scoring events. So they can enter every rally in the calendar if they wish to, but they have to nominate beforehand which event they will score points on, and they can only do that 7 times per season, and the best 6 of those 7 points scores count. See, complicated, isn't it? Complicated. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? So and I think that kind of came to a head in Chile. So that was Oliver Solberg's last point scoring opportunity. That was his last of his 7 nominated rounds to score points. And if he had won that rally, he would have won the championship. As it happened, he got a puncture. He didn't win. And we ended up in this bizarre situation where he filed a grievance with the FIA, with the promoter, trying to get a notional time that Rossell was awarded amended, because he felt that Rossell got too much time back. That obviously being cut back would have helped Solberg to potentially win the event, to recover. He'd put in a great recovery drive, but didn't quite do enough. So they put in this protest to try and get Rossell's notional time that he was given. He got a notional time for dust in the fog, which is a bit weird. I do kind of see why Solberg was a bit annoyed about that, because it wasn't very dusty. So I don't really understand why he got 40 seconds back. But anyway, the protest was rejected, and Solberg now finds himself in the weird position where he just kind of has to wait and see what happens over the next 2 rallies. Sami Pajari could still win the championship. And it's just a bit of a weird situation, isn't it? And I'm not sure the point system, this system of nominating rallies quite works for me. But it's difficult to find a solution, isn't it? Because in a way, I can understand why we don't want to put pressure on the WRC2 runners to try and do every rally, because obviously that's going to cost a lot of money. But at the same time, do we want them to nominate which rallies are going to score points? Would it not be better for them to just do as many rallies as they want, and then we just take the best 6 or 7 scores or whatever it is from that? So rather than, because I think this was Solberg last year as well, wasn't it? He didn't nominate to score points in Finland. He just thought he'd do Finland. And then he won it, and then said afterwards, well, I wish I'd nominated that for points. It's just a bit silly, isn't it? You know, shouldn't we just take the best, you know, it could be 6 scores, 7 scores, 8 scores, 5 scores, whatever you want. Just let them do as many rallies as they want, and then just pick the best ones, rather than having to nominate, because they could nominate a rally to score points on, and then through sheer bad luck, you know, they might get a puncture for no reason, they might have a mechanical failure, they then drop a score effectively, and that could cost them the championship, and that just doesn't seem very fair to me. You know, we've complained a lot in 2024 about overcomplication in the point system for Rally 1. Is this not just making it a bit complicated? If you're a fan watching, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I think Solberg, maybe even Rossell, said earlier in the year that they'd like to see the top WRC2 runners competing against each other, because you can be in this weird position, as we saw in Chile, where Sami Pajari, who was kind of crucial to the championship fight, wasn't actually competing, was he? He was driving a Rally 1 car. But, you know, he's a major player, so it's a bit weird when you could have the 2 main title protagonists across a season, across 13 or 14 rallies. They could do the opposite 13 or 14 rallies to each other. Sorry, 6 or 7 rallies to each other, couldn't they? So one could do half the season, effectively, and the other could do the other half of the season. So I'm not sure of the best way to fix it, because as I said, I understand why you might not want to force all of the drivers to do all of the rallies, because it can be very difficult to raise the budget to do that. So I do understand it, but I just maybe think that rather than nominating, we should just say, okay, you only have to do 7 rallies, but just do whichever 7 rallies you want, and we'll just pick, you know, pick your best scores, or if you do as many rallies as you want, and we'll just pick your best 6 scores or your best 7 scores. That way, you don't end up in a position where someone says, well, I'm not going to bother scoring points in Finland, but I'm going to score them in Chile, and then they go to Chile and their engine blows up on the first stage and they don't score any points. It just seems a bit weird to me. It seems like the WRC is in a place right now where it's kind of throwing rules at things where you kind of don't need them. You know, it just seems like an additional level of complication, a bit like WRC2 Pro was a few years ago, where it kind of just didn't really solve anything. You know what I mean? It was just an extra set of regulations to try and fix a problem, but it just didn't really do anything. It just made it more complicated and crucially made it more difficult for viewers and fans to understand. And I think what we really need to get our head around is that we need the sport to be as simple as possible, don't we? You know, I think for a newcomer, they just want to come in and watch cars going fast. They don't want to have to understand a really complex set of regulations. And I think sometimes we can be guilty of creating regulations for the sake of it. So I just wanted to touch on that. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on it. Do comment below if you have any suggestions or how you would fix the point system, what you would change about WRC2 to try and make it fairer, because I think it's an interesting topic. I don't know if we'll see any changes for next year, but definitely worth watching, especially as there is potential for the calendar to expand even further. I think that's it for this one. As I said, do make sure you check out the website and order yourself some lovely merchandise. And as always, make sure you follow me on socials and like, comment and subscribe to this video. And I will see you next time.